All right, we'll start with medical. Guys that will be out for this game: Julian Blackman with the shoulder, Trevor Penny with the toe, and Chase Young with the calf. Tolley will be questionable with the knee, and then Valus, um, Zach Wood, and Jordan Howden were full, and they got no designations. So, other than that, good Friday practice, and open up for questions.
Have you just staying on the medical for a second with Julian Blackman? You mentioned that he was expected to undergo surgery this week. Has that happened, and how did everything go?
Yeah. Obviously, he's going through that now, and so yeah, we'll see how all that stuff progresses. But certainly feel like long term wise, it'll put him in position to see what happens after this. But yeah, unfortunately, good chance. Yeah.
Brent Staley the other day said that, like, I think all your guys' rookies, I don't know if he meant just defensively or the entire class, like got the most reps out of training camp. Did you structure it that way intentionally? Like, could you just kind of expand on a little bit more of that plan and how that maybe applies to Jonas Senker going into his first game with relax?
I think if you go back to the training camp schedule, it's fairly balanced: ones, twos, and threes. Ones naturally get a little bit more reps, but then just all the developmental opportunities is probably would be the point of reference. Anytime each day we'd end it with some developmental period, and there's different guys in different capacities. I remember Julian used the developmental period really to get acclimated to the system early. Usually our rookies were obviously stealing more reps in that situation, but it kind of provided those guys just to get extra opportunities. And I think if you look at Jonas, for example, I think he just took a ton of reps during training camp. He just kept finding different opportunities to get more and more.
With Fuaga, is part of the question like whether he can play, but also what level he can play at? Like, does that come into play, or is he available at that point?
Yeah, I think it's just see how it responds after today, and just to kind of let this go through a full week's process. And obviously he's done some good this week, and so we'll just see how it all plays out.
Did you see his knee bothering him on tape when you went back at it? Could you tell kind of the difference?
There was potentially some stuff there, but that'd be probably a fairer question for Tully than me.
When you look at Fred Warner and just how good he's been at linebacker, what's allowed him to sustain his success?
Really, really smart, really good instincts. He plays really, really fast. He solves a lot of problems in the run game just by play diagnose and recognizing where the ball's going, and he hits things and he beats the blockers to the point of attack. In the pass game, he's got incredible pattern match. He's got incredible patience in the pass game. I think that's one thing that shows up is, he doesn't take the cheese on a whole lot of stuff, so to speak. He doesn't create big voids behind him. He plays with a lot of depth and then rallies and makes plays.
What made you guys want to go out early to Seattle, and is that an approach that you guys will also do for when you go to LA again? Is it specifically about this?
Yeah, just we've been here for close to a month now, and so with the long travel up there, we felt like it would be a good opportunity for our team to spend a little bit extra time together. That's usually what creates these opportunities, and so that's the plan.
What are like some of the core tenets you think for like creating the right atmosphere for developing a young quarterback?
Sorry, can you say that one?
Like developing a young
Yeah.
quarterback. Like, what do you think some of like the core principles or like some of the core things you have to have in place like to successfully like create the right atmosphere?
Yeah, I think schematically, obviously, build a really sound structure that allows him to play free and confident. Give him enough tools, but not overwhelm him with those different tools that he can utilize. Protection's a big part of this. Our ability to protect the quarterback and run the football. And then we feel like we've taken certainly some steps in just building more and more playmakers around our quarterback position. The acquisitions we've had through this offseason and certainly as of late. And so I feel like we're putting these guys in really good positions.
What about like behind the scenes? Like, is there anything that like just structurally like that have in place for them to like learn the right way? Like, is there anything that like you've learned over the years that you feel like these are good things?
I think it's really, really important that there's a group setting the way we do a lot of our stuff. So we install a lot of it as an entire group going through it. But then when you get to the position meetings, you got to have very, very open dialogue and just have a lot of conversations in there. And I think that's where the football IQ's raised. When you have just those conversations and you talk through things and have all the hypothetical discussions. There's a million situations that come up in football. We just did situations today in the team meeting. It's just every week there's going to be stuff that shows up that maybe these guys haven't seen or something that we need to reinforce. And so you're constantly trying to create that environment. And then these guys are just trying to find every way they can learn, whether it's the walkthroughs, the practice, post practice stuff at home, virtual reality, whatever it may be. Like they just got to utilize as many different tools as they can.
Do you guys use virtual
Yeah, we have that. Yeah.
When you were building your staff, like was former quarterbacks like having as many around as possible? Like was that in mind, like as far as some of that stuff?
I've been fortunate to be around those guys in the quarterback room for a number of years. You know, Scotty played in this league, and then is coaching it for a number of years now. Obviously, Doug did the same thing. Scott's been in this league for a really long time as well as a coach, and so I feel like there's a lot of guys who've spent a lot of time in these quarterback rooms, have a ton of knowledge, ton of experience to lean on, and then when you create a very open environment, it allows these guys to just have all those discussions.
Is the virtual reality piece, have you used that before elsewhere, or is this kind of the first time?
We've used different components at a few other spots, but not in the last few years, and so it's good for the quarterbacks.
What kind of brought about the decision to utilize that? Was that a youth thing? Did that kind of stop?
It was already in place when I first got here. It was already available to us, and then it's just a matter of you just got to put a plan together, and so I feel like our guys can continue to use it more and more as we go here, and it'll be a good advantage.
Have you used it at all? Like,
Have I? When I was a player, there's a different form of it. This one's a little bit more interactive, a little bit more, like a better term, video game like, but it's still interactive. When I was playing, it was more of a visual thing, where it's more of a point of reference camera that was really close to the quarterback, and so you're able to see it from that lens. And so there's a few different tools that different teams have used.
For them to have some, I guess, bigger losses offensively, what has it been like preparing for them this week, especially seeing guys that might not have a ton of tape?
Yeah, there's obviously some question marks as far as just who will be out there on the field. I think systematically, structurally, they have a lot of volume, and they're going to still be able to utilize it. I think every time you watch San Francisco, if a different quarterback played, or maybe the receivers and tight ends had to go through a different rotation, they still had their whole system at their disposal. I don't think I've ever seen them play in a limited fashion. Kyle's certainly gone through this with some other quarterbacks at different points, and they're still attacking in every possible aspect they can.
Do you use virtual reality for other, like, is that available for other positions as well, or is that important?
There's certainly potential for it. Quarterbacks is usually the main focus of it, and that's certainly the starting point. But we'll try and find different tools as we go.
are there like sports science advantages of going early to Seattle next week, or is it just mostly bonding?
There's some acclimation component to it, just going out there for a couple days. Weather, scenery. We'll get still some practices out there, and so you're going back 2 time zones, and so we'll utilize that opportunity that we can.
Is Talley's made potentially a chronic thing that could limit him in practice?
We'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, I think these are always things that you just kind of got to take it week by week, day by day, kind of see how everything responds. And if you have to make a maintenance program, through the season or whatever, then you execute that plan. And so we'll just have to see this thing. I think it'll be the larger sample size, the better plan we can create.
Maybe it isn't with a guy as young as he is, just in his second year, but how do you balance sort of keeping the mental side of injury and everything for him kind of balanced in a situation like that?
Just the mental side of dealing with injuries.
Yeah, 'cause there's always that physical side of it,
Yeah.
the mental side of it.
No, it's real. It's real for anyone who's gone through these injuries and you're playing and maybe you don't feel 100%, or you're coming back from something and you have to, reinforce yourself that you are good to go. For all these guys, there's nothing easy about going through an injury process. Even guys that are coming back from big time injuries, like Taysom and Foster and these guys, there's a mental side of this thing that's not always easy. And so for all these guys who've gone through it, there's a confidence that you have to grow through it. And so, sometimes there's a new normal, coming out of it, and you just got to embrace that. And so, yeah.
And maybe it's a better question for Ted Rath and things like that, but just how do you help with that from the organization side and the team side?
Yeah, certainly I feel like we got some of the best resources, the way our training room and our sports performance, and they work hand in hand with these guys as they go through this recovery process. I think Ted's obviously phenomenal. I think Ben, Sean, all those guys in the training room is really good. Jamie with nutrition, like we got a really good group that all works together. And so I think when these guys are around these people, they're getting a lot of positive affirmations from all these different points that reinforce, what they're building and what they're becoming.
You going preparing for a quarterback like Mac, who you just don't have a ton of film on in this offense, obviously it's preseason. Do you go back to the Patriots time, or is it that far removed from offense?
Yeah, I think you do touch back just as a reference point as far as the player specifically. Certainly the scheme focus is going to be on that. I don't anticipate them chasing plays from that experience, but you can see the player. You can see his reaction to certain things or things that maybe he's most comfortable with that may naturally come up a little